Lassiter Factor.
What's up, all my movie-loving maniacs? This your boy Bankful B of the Lassiter Factor, and I'm back with another TV review. And today I'm going to talk about Daredevil Born Again, which recently wrapped up its first season, so let's review. So Daredevil Born Again is, I guess you can say, a soft reboot of the Daredevil Netflix series that lasted for 3 seasons, and this is really the show where they integrate Daredevil and his world into the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, it should be worth noting because context matters that Daredevil, when it was on Netflix, it may not have been my personal favorite Marvel show on Netflix, but I do think it was definitely the best show on Netflix. Anyone will tell you that, and the world was absolutely sad when this show got canceled. Probably one of the best things to come out of not just Marvel television, but Marvel, period. And I've always been, I guess, a more casual fan of the Daredevil character, going back to that Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck. And I felt like the Netflix show, it definitely did what that movie couldn't do, was not only be more grounded and gritty, but also flesh out the character and the other characters that he's a part of. Charlie Cox is both excellent as both Daredevil and Matt Murdock. Vincent D'Onofrio is also excellent as the Kingpin or Wilson Fisk. They started integrating Matt Murdock slash Daredevil into the greater Marvel universe, some to varying degrees. I liked his little cameo in Spider-Man No Way Home. How he was handled in She-Hulk is a bit debatable, but his walk of shame will always be hilarious to me. They even integrated Wilson Fisk into other aspects of the Marvel universe, also to varying degrees. And then it was announced that they was going to bring this show back, but there was also the behind the scenes drama in which this show was a bit compromised. The show was going to be one thing, and then the strikes happened 2 summers ago. Kevin Feige looked at what they had shot and said, nah, this can't be it. And so he revamped the show, brought back actors reprising their characters from the original show, and now we have this show. And how do I feel? I really dug this show for about the first half of it, and then the show just kind of took a dip after that. I don't think this show was awful. It was just eh. And I think that's mainly because this show was compromised because of all the reshoots this show had. Now, I will say Charlie Cox, he did not miss a beat as both Matt Murdock and Daredevil. It basically feels like he basically bought the character from the Netflix show and brought it onto here. Though I will say there are some slight changes to him. Like, I think he's just a little bit more happy, and then he's definitely getting around, if you know what I mean. Vincent D'Onofrio also clocks in as Wilson Fisk. He also did not miss a step as this character. That diner scene from the first episode, I really enjoyed that. It feels like two rivals that, in a way, kind of respect each other, but also giving each other warnings. And they do bring back Karen Page and Foggy Nelson from the original show, but only to kill Foggy off in that first episode. I'm telling you, I really dug the opening of that first episode. It basically felt like Kevin Feige, he put that in just to put audience at ease. Like, see, this is just like the Netflix show, but then only to pull the rug out from all of us when they killed Foggy Nelson. But I do love the fighting in the scene, and Matt Murdock, Daredevil, he gets in a scuffle with Bullseye, who does kill Foggy Nelson. But this is also kind of a negative for me because I just feel like they brought these new characters back just so that they can bring in some of the newer characters that you don't really have so much connection to because it wasn't in the original show. And even if the show gives time to those new characters, it just feels like I feel like this character. I feel like it just would have been better if they had more of the older characters from the original show here. Speaking of characters, they bring back John Bernthal as Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, and I like the 2 bits that he had. He was only in 2 episodes, this one in the finale, and I just like their little dynamic between the two of them. Though this is also kind of an issue for me because it's like, wait, maybe I need to go back and rewatch the show when it was under Netflix. But at the same time, like, okay, so when did Frank Castle knew that Matt Murdock was Daredevil? Or maybe it's just because, A, it is the multiverse. Maybe it's just one of those things where, like, they took only certain things from the Netflix show and bring it into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it's just like, it almost mirrors the Netflix universe, but at the same time, it doesn't. So, and that's just one thing that is different from the Netflix show. But John Berthal, he also did not miss a step as playing the Punisher, and I can't wait to see what they do with him going forward. In fact, I heard that there is going to make a new season of the Punisher in a one shot, so I'm curious to see how that works out. There's a plot in this in which you have the White Tiger, and I know the actor that played him, he passed away late last year, so rest in peace, and he was great in the episodes that he was in. They gave Matt Murdock a girlfriend who is a therapist, and she is also giving therapy to Wilson Fisk and his wife Vanessa. And there's also just kind of that conflict of, she has something to say about vigilance, and so you're not sure what side she is on, and she's trying to help Matt Murdock, but he's being a little bit secretive. I even like the episode with Yusuf Khan, who is the father of Ms. Marvel, in which that was basically a bottle episode where he works at a bank and the bank gets robbed. And so Matt Murdock, he's trying to help these people and also stop them. And then he offers a little kinship with Yusuf Khan. I know a lot of people had issues with this episode, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Though I am a bit curious because this is news to me that he is in deep water for grooming a young person, so which is probably the reason why they released this episode with the episode afterwards so that they can just get this episode behind them quickly. Overall, this season of this show is basically about Wilson Fisk becoming mayor and trying to take back his city, and then you also got Matt Murdock on the other side of that coin. He feels guilt about what happened to Foggy, and then he's investigating what really happened to Foggy that night, and then he's trying to slip back into his Daredevil ways. I like that aspect of it, but I just felt like the journey going through it was a bit of a mixed bag. And I just felt like we really didn't get a resolution with this season. It just felt like, all right, shit's really about to go down, and then it just stops. Now, granted, I also hearing that they plan on releasing a new season of this show every year. So maybe whatever they shot for the first season, they're saving it for the next season. Who knows? But it still doesn't change the fact that we really didn't get no resolution for this season. But like I said, I like this show, but I didn't quite love it like I love the show when it was under Netflix. Maybe this show will hit its stride with the seasons that will follow, but for right now, I'm going to give Daredevil Born Again Season 1 the thumbs up emoji. Thank y'all so much for watching. Have you seen Daredevil Born Again? If so, let me know what you think of this season in the comment section below. This is your boy Bankful B of the Lassiter Factor. Stay safe, wash your hands, peace.